Friends, have you ever looked at someone else's life and thought, they must be so much happier than I am? Maybe it's a neighbor with a bigger house, a colleague with a higher salary, or a family that seems to laugh more than yours does. We forget to count our blessings because we are too busy counting someone else's. So who is truly happy in this life? To answer that, let me take you through the journey of one man, a story many of us have felt in one way or another. There was a beggar named Bahadur who wandered from village to village asking for alms. One evening, he arrived at a farmer's house. He knocked, but heard no answer. The door was slightly open, so he peeked inside. What he saw melted his heart. The farmer sat with his wife and two small children, laughing together, the children clinging to their father with pure joy. Bahadur called out again, gently, and the farmer's wife came to the door with a handful of grain. He thanked her and walked on, but he could not stop thinking about what he had seen. What a family, he thought. So much love in one small home. And then he thought of himself. No family, an empty house waiting for him at night, a life that felt so much harder than theirs. But Bahadur did not know the truth. That very night, after the meal, the farmer turned to his wife with worry in his eyes. "We do not have enough for the month," he said. "I will have to borrow 1,000 coins from the moneylender." His wife held his hand and told him softly, "Do not worry, he will help us." So the farmer went to the village moneylender, a man named Devin, who agreed to lend him the coins. As the farmer left, he glanced at the shelves full of silver in Devin's shop and thought, "Look at this man. Surrounded by wealth, he must never worry about anything." But Devin had worries of his own. The next day, he traveled to the city to buy cloth, and there he met a wealthy merchant named Vikram. He overheard Vikram's assistant report profits in the hundreds of thousands, goods sailing to faraway shores. Devin thought, "I am proud of my small profits, but this man moves fortunes. He must be the happiest man alive." But that same evening, Vikram received terrible news. One of his ventures had collapsed, costing him almost everything. His head pounded with stress, yet he still had to attend a banquet hosted by a powerful official. At the banquet, surrounded by officials and commissioners, Vikram thought, "Look at these men. They hold real power. Compared to them, my life feels so small." But the official who hosted that banquet went home that night with a heavy heart of his own. A new loss had come in from one of his ventures, and the weight of pleasing everyone all evening had drained him completely. As he lay down to rest, he heard, through his window, a beggar walking by, singing some careless little tune. And the official thought, "Look at that man. No businesses to worry over, no banquets to host. He must be the happiest man in this whole world." And that beggar was Bahadur, the very same man who, only hours earlier, had envied a farmer's happy home. When Bahadur learned, much later, how far his small song had traveled, how a powerful man had once envied him, something in his chest went still. He realized, that night, that everyone carries a weight we cannot see. We envy the rich, the powerful, the loved, believing they must be free of worry, but happiness was never tied to money, or status, or how full someone's house sounds from the outside. From that day, Bahadur walked differently. He still had nothing, but he carried his nothing a little lighter. His wandering took him, many weeks later, near a range of quiet mountains. There, he met a stonecutter named Devraj, who offered him water and a place to rest by his fire. As they sat together, Devraj told him of a strange dream he once had. Every day, from morning until dusk, Devraj broke stone for a living, and every evening he came home tired, ate with his family, and slept. This had been his life for many years. But one evening, walking home, a restless thought had crept into his mind. "Is this all there is?" he had wondered. "If only I had some power, some magic, to make all my wishes come true." That night, he dreamed he passed a massive house, grand, glowing, more beautiful than anything he had ever seen. And he wished, if only this were mine. And in the dream, it was, for a moment, he felt complete joy, until outside his window, A procession passed, loud and golden, a powerful ruler at its center, the crowd chanting his name. He thought, I have a house, but I'm nothing compared to a man like that. I wish I were him. And so, in the dream, he became the ruler, thousands cheering, the world seemingly at his feet. But the sun that day burned fierce and merciless, and the new ruler collapsed from the heat. He thought, even a ruler bows to the sun. I wish to be the sun. And he became the sun, blazing across the whole earth, certain that nothing could be stronger than this. But dark clouds rolled in and swallowed his light completely. So he wished to become the clouds, and then the wind tore the clouds apart, so he wished to become the wind. As the wind, he felt unstoppable, until he met a mountain that would not move, no matter how hard he blew. So he wished to become the mountain, immovable, eternal, surely, finally, the strongest thing that ever was. But then he felt pain. Someone was striking him, breaking him apart, piece by piece. He looked down and saw a man with a hammer chipping away at the mountain stone. And in that final moment of the dream, he understood. This man is stronger than even me. He opened his mouth to wish to become him too, but no wish came, because he woke up, sweating, in his own bed. When he looked into the mirror, he finally understood. I could not become that man, because I already am him. I am the stonecutter, the one who breaks mountains with his own two hands. Bahadur listened to all of this in silence, and when Devraj finished, he simply nodded, because he understood it more than most men could. It is good to learn from others, Devraj said quietly, but it is a mistake to lose yourself trying to become them. The moment you accept who you are, the need to live anyone else's life simply disappears. Bahadur thanked him for the fire and the story, and continued on his way. Some months later, his path led him toward the gates of a great kingdom, ruled by a king named Ranveer. Bahadur arrived at the palace walls just as the sun was setting, hoping for nothing more than a little food before nightfall. A guard let him rest near an open courtyard window, and from there, Bahadur could hear the king's voice drifting out from the chamber above. The king had won every battle worth winning, and by the age of 56, he had achieved everything a man could dream of. But his only son, Prince Arjun, was just 16, young, and still finding his way. The king had called the boy into his chamber, and Bahadur, resting quietly below, could hear every word. My son, the king said, it does not matter if you are 16 or 56. The world will respect you for your actions, not your age. Respect is never something you beg for. It is something you earn. Do you know why people respect the ocean? It never asks to be feared. It simply is powerful, and so the world bows to it on its own. Keep every promise you make. That is how trust is built. Be kind, and kindness will return to you tenfold. Never stop learning. Use your youth to build yourself, because if you are not willing to sacrifice for your dreams, you will spend the rest of your life sacrificing them instead. His voice grew gentler. Some people, even those you love, will try to hold you back, not out of cruelty, but because your growth reminds them of what they have not done themselves. Love them, from a distance, if you must. The prince asked quietly, but father, what if it is the people closest to me? And the king answered, then let solitude teach you who you really are. For it is often in our quietest, loneliest moments that we discover our deepest strength. Happiness, my son, was never found in wealth or in power or in applause. It is found only in knowing and accepting yourself. Below the window, Bahadur sat in the dark, a beggar with nothing to his name, and yet, for the first time in his life, he felt he understood something even a king's son was only beginning to learn. He thought of the farmer who had envied no one, the moneylender who had envied the merchant who had envied the official who had envied him. He thought of the stonecutter who had chased every kind of power in his dreams, only to wake and find himself enough. And now, a king, teaching his own son the very same lesson from inside walls of gold. Every person carries a struggle the world cannot see. The one you envy today is, in some quiet corner of their life, envying someone else. So stop measuring your life against another person's highlight reel. Look instead at what you already have. Someone out there is dreaming of the very life you are living right now. Become the best version of yourself, not a copy of anyone else's. And once you do, you will stop needing to be anyone but who you already are. Bahadur walked on into the night, no richer than before, but somehow lighter than he had ever been. This story, like the wisdom inside it, is a fictional tale shared to explore something many of us have felt at some point in our lives. If it moved you even a little, share your thoughts below and subscribe for more stories like this one.